Alright, good morning everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the stream. I want to say thank you for being here for the pre-stream and welcome, my friends. A great day today of streaming coming up, although it's going to be a very different stream from yesterday, that is for sure. Yesterday was all about kind of chilling as we turboed through a third run through Near Replicant to try to get the alternate endings. And then we chilled in Pokemon. Right? So it was a very relaxing day of streaming. Today is the complete and utter opposite. Seriously, today is... Oh, he's already starting. Jasper, you've already started with the biting of the foots. That's it. Come here. Come here. Put him on my lap. You're nut. Listen to me. He wants to get down. I wanted to pet him, and he... I picked him up. I wanted to pet him. He's like, no. He jumps off my lap. No biting of the foots. You hear me? Do not bite my foot. Unacceptable. He's giving me the eyes. Oh, he's so cute. You're a cute kitty. Oh, he wants to play. That's it. All right, anyway. So today's completely different from yesterday. All right? Yesterday was the chill day. A chill start to the week. Today is action day. Action-packed streaming all day long. Should be interesting to say the least. The first stream today... By the way, I should say the date, shouldn't I? Today is Wednesday, the 26th of May, 2021, right? Today's first stream is the continuation of Returnal, because that is correct. Continuing the playthrough, I saved it last time around. If you remember, it was on the chopping block, because I had done 3 major streams of Returnal, and still had not beaten the 3rd biome, and I was, like, tired of doing the same crap over and over. I was just, quite frankly, I was frustrated. Alright, I was like, man, I want, that's it, Jasper, that's it. Now you're in trouble. Now it's time for a rousing suplex. And you're going to get it. A flying suplex right now. What a nut. Hold on. He bit my arm and surprised me. Again, he doesn't hurt me. He just surprises me sometimes. He ran up and he bit my arm in the middle of my sentence. I was like, what the... So I went and I got the twisty. I tossed it into the hallway. Alright, so anyway. Let's continue here. Returnal. Last time around when I played it, I almost quit the game. I had played 3 major streams of it and had not made any progress at all, right? So it was incredibly frustrating for me. Oh, hello. Hi, everyone. The webcam's there. So, yeah, basically, I was like, dude, I gotta make progress so I can't keep playing this game. I mean, we're talking a ridiculous amount of time. It was like, if you add it up, it was actually almost like 9 hours trying to beat the 3rd biome in the game. It's like, this is just out of control, okay? So, after all of that, I did a make or break stream saying, listen, I need to beat this or else that's it. I can't keep wasting time on this game doing the same gameplay loop over and over. It's boring. Admittedly, to me, it was boring. I didn't want to do it anymore. Finally, last time around, not only was I able to get a good RNG order of upgrades, meaning when I went through the first world and into the 3rd biome, I got all good stuff that I needed. A good weapon, good upgrades, good everything. So I was able to tear through the 3rd biome and beat it, which was good. Then, the game starts the second half, because the game basically has 2 acts, Act 1 and Act 2. And when we re-entered the 1st biome, this time around it's the 4th biome, because it's changed dramatically from the first time you were there, and within 40 minutes, I was able to get through the entire 1st biome and beat the boss on the first shot. Which is funny, because... that's actually what had happened in this game for the 1st and 2nd biomes. If you guys remember, both times that I played them, I went right through them in a tear and beat the boss on the first shot. It wasn't until the 3rd biome that I really got challenged and ended up spending like 9 hours trying to beat the goddamn thing. Okay? So, we went from 9 hours stuck on biome 3 making no progress to within 1 3-hour stream beating 2 entire biomes. Right? Talk about feast or famine. I mean, seriously. So, it was a delicious progress feast last time around playing Returnal, right? So, obviously, the playthrough now will continue. Now, the question is, what's going to happen today. Today we're going to be going through the 4th biome again, because remember, you have to go through each biome to get to the next again. And so I'll be grabbing upgrades in the light, and then heading into the 5th biome. I don't know anything about the 5th biome besides it's ice. That's all I know. It's frozen. There's ice. It's the opposite of the desert. What's funny is, even the plot of the game says, oh, the last time you were here it was a desert, but now it's ice. What happened? When are you? Almost like you're on the same alien planet, but you could be significantly different time periods, right? You could be in the past, you could be in the future, and the climate of the planet has changed significantly, right? So I'm excited to see what the 5th biome ends up being today. Will we run into new stuff, or will it be rehashed old stuff? I don't know. But we're going to find out today. People are saying the 5th biome is very challenging. Already, sadly, some people spoiled me, which kind of sucks. They said there's no boss. They said the stage is incredibly difficult, but there's no boss. So if you can get through the stage, you just go right to the 6th biome, and you don't have to worry about a big boss hurdle or anything like that. So, that being said, I hope that you guys will enjoy today's gameplay-oriented stream of Returnal. I say that because some streams really are not gameplay-oriented. Like last night when we played New Pokemon Snap, that was just chilling and talking while I did a little bit of gameplay behind the scenes. You know, it really wasn't focused on progress. But this will definitely be a gameplay-focused stream for sure. Okay? Let's see what happens, alright? Let's see what happens today. I'm excited to see if we make progress or not. Okay? Later tonight, per your request, later tonight is the return of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War as a regular game on the late streams, likely once a week, okay? Why is this coming back? 2 reasons. Number one, I played it over the weekend as a throwback because I was doing it, you know, regularly for a good, 4 or 5 months there, right? But admittedly, people were saying it was starting to get stale. I pretty much played with every kind of weapon, and people were like, enough is enough with Call of Duty, do other stuff. So I did. For a month, I've basically been focusing more on new releases and chill streams rather than Call of Duty, okay? But this last week had a new map that released that's a throwback to Black Ops 2. It's a very small map compared to a lot of the maps present in Black Ops Cold War, okay? So it feels very different. It does. It feels like a very different style map because you're constantly running into enemies no matter where you go on this map. Now, in addition to that, they did something pretty silly. They released the characters John McClane from Die Hard and Rambo from the Rambo series into the game. So, when you're playing, half the people are now John Rambo or John McClane running around looking ridiculous. I couldn't tell you how many times I killed John McClane and I was like, what is going on? This is so silly, man. So, Jasper Kitty, leave that wire alone. Do not touch my headphone wire. Jasper Kitty. Hey, Jasper, leave the headphone wire alone, buddy. Come on. Be a good kitty. Don't! I just said leave it alone. He bites it. That's it. Now you're going to get it. Rousing suplex. Here it comes. Arr, 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 arr. You are such a demanding kitty today. Look at you. You want attention, 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 he says. He says, give me attention. Give me attention. Oh, my God. Attention demanding cat. He's so silly. He's rolling around on the floor right now just being a nut. Anyway. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, as I was saying. So, yeah, when I played this on Saturday night, it was chaotic as hell. It was silly as hell because we were at John McClane and Rambo. And I went on a tear. I was using the machete. And I started getting insane machete kill streaks. I had a 5 rapid kill streak achievement, which I didn't even know you could do in the game. And I've never, in all the years that I have played Call of Duty, I never had a 5 in a row melee kill streak like that. That was just nuts. It was nuts. So, it was very entertaining. And people absolutely loved the stream to the point where they were like, dude, I hope Phil plays Call of Duty regularly because this is so entertaining. We miss it. He was doing it for months on end and then he stopped playing Call of Duty. Now, the other thing is, I'm now streaming at 1080p 60 frames per second because I'm back on YouTube. And people loved the quality jump. They were like, wow, this game looks great now that Phil is actually doing it at the quality it's supposed to be at. So, I hope that you guys we'll enjoy tonight's stream. We'll see how it goes. The thing is, if we play Call of Duty and it gets boring again, we don't have to do it every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something to do for variety to the streams. And I understand people like Call of Duty. I like it too. Remember how much I was playing it? I was having tons of fun with the game this year. I really feel Black Ops Cold War is the most entertaining version of Call of Duty in many, many years. And keep in mind, there will be a new Call of Duty likely in October. So we pretty much have to play it while we can and enjoy it before the game becomes obsolete. Because it will. You know that there's going to be a new one in like 4 or 5 months, right? So we definitely should enjoy it while we can. But at the same time, if it becomes too much of the same and you guys get bored or think it's repetitive, then we don't have to do it anymore. And that's okay, all right? So tonight, let's see how Call of Duty goes. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. I'm excited for the stream. I hope you guys will join me for that later tonight, okay? Tomorrow, it's the return of Ask the King. This is my bi-monthly Q&A show where I answer your questions, all right? You guys have been posting up questions for weeks. Please continue to post up questions. The more questions I get for this show, the better the show ends up being. How do you post up questions? You type exclamation point, Ask the King into the stream chat, and it'll bring up the link for you. Okay? Or you just go to my forums at thekingofhate.com, but typing in the Ask the King link usually is the easier way to do it. In fact, the link just popped up in the stream chat right now. Again, please post up your questions. Now, tomorrow is Ask the King. That stream starts significantly later than my usual streams. All right, my usual streams start around 10:45 a.m. All right, tomorrow it starts around 12:45 p.m. That's 2 hours later because I take the time to go through all your questions, review them, pick the ones where I can get the best answers. I also have to prepare patron shout-outs and things like that for the show. So please, come on by, but come on by a little later. All right, it'll be around a 3-hour Q&A show starting at 12:45 p.m. Pacific time, okay? Now, during that show, if there's time, I may take live questions from the chat or not. It all depends. But also, I take Twitter questions that day of when I'm actually reviewing the forum questions. I actually will take questions on my Twitter account at TheyCallMeDSP. So if you follow me over there on Twitter, you know, it's, please check it out. All right, check it out, and you know, you'll have an opportunity to get your question answered on the show. Fair enough? Okay. All right. Good stuff. Now, tomorrow night is the continuation of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. This week, Mass Effect is going to be night streams. Why? Because, honestly, taking a look at the daytime streams, I didn't think I was going to have time to do a major stream of it, and I definitely wanted to make advancement in the game. I didn't want to have it, you know, be, like, no advancement at all. So I actually have Mass Effect lined up as 2 different nighttime streams this week, okay? So Thursday night will be Mass Effect Legendary Edition. We're actually on Novaria, so we'll be doing the Novaria missions tomorrow night. Then on Friday, Nier Replicant heads into the end game. We're actually in the Shadow Lord's castle, and what we need to do is get through there and get one of the endings. I think what we're going to do is do the D ending, which is the ending that's supposed to be canon with Nier Automata. When you do that, it then unlocks the new content, which is the E storyline, which resets your game and makes you go back to the beginning. You play for about an hour and a half, and then the game goes to brand new content for about 2 hours, and then that's the end of the game. So, we're going to see some of that, all right? But we're not going to see all of it. We're going to see some of it, but not all of it, okay? We'll see how it goes on Friday. What I'm thinking is we'll get good progress on Friday, and then likely we'll have to do one more stream, probably a night stream, to wrap up Nier Replicant and see all the endings and everything, okay? So that's Friday. Friday night is my usual weekly Street Fighter session, all right? Then on Saturday, the major stream will be more Returnal, okay? And the late stream is more Mass Effect, okay? Now, normally, I would be here on Sunday, but this week, it looks like I may or may not be. Now it's up in the air. It's so weird. I keep telling you guys, my wife's schedule fluctuates all the time. So she went to work today, and now the schedule may be different again for this weekend, as stupid as that sounds. I may be here on Sunday, I may not. If I'm not here on Sunday, then it means I'll be here on Monday, and that means that Monday will be, excuse me. Yuck. Hold on a second. I'm going to bring up my schedule because I'm confusing myself. I'm trying to remember what Monday would be, because it's basically whatever Sunday was going to be. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, because I actually made a determination about this last night. Okay? Right now, you guys are voting on my retro replay event, right? You guys are voting for a very special event where I'm going to be playing a game that I've already played in the past, okay? And I'm going to be playing it as a major playthrough on my streams. So what I'm thinking of doing is, like, Monday, Tuesday-ish, like, one of those days will be this special premiere event for the retro replay game. I'm not sure what day. It'll depend on the schedule and what happens here, like I said, with my wife and everything. But I'm thinking that this week, coming up, I should do a special retro replay event. It's going to be a marathon to start the playthrough. And then that will become a regular scheduled playthrough that I will balance with all my other stuff. Okay? So, I don't know if it'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. One of those days, I'm going to be starting up the retro replay. I just don't know what. Okay? I need to have you guys keep voting. Please keep voting by typing ! retro replay into the stream chat. That'll give you the link by which you can vote. Okay? The more votes I get, the better. Last I checked, it was very close. I think that it was like Fallout New Vegas and Ninja Gaiden on the NES were like really close together. But then there's a couple other games that are just trailing right behind there, you know? So we're very, very close. And I hope that you guys will vote. And we'll determine what game it's going to be. I'll let you know over the weekend what game has won the poll. And that will allow us to know what's going to happen with this special event. All right? The way the event's going to work is the first day I play the game. All right? It's going to be... excuse me. By the way, Habib Gaming, that's not the real Derek. I'm getting rid of him right now. It's a troll. Okay. It's going to be a marathon. Meaning I'm going to sit down, and that day, it's not going to be a typical double stream day. Instead, it's going to be a day where I just play whatever game wins a ton in a marathon-style session. Okay? And then we'll go back to regularly scheduled streams, and then it'll be a regular game that I put into my schedule. Okay? It just sucks not knowing what day I have off. I hate this, but it's life right now. My wife's schedule for the past 2 months, right, has been all over the place. She can't get a consistent schedule at her job, which is stupid as hell, and she's frustrated, I'm frustrated. Obviously, we want to be able to tell you guys, oh, here's the schedule for the next 2 weeks, and here's what I'm doing, and I can't do that. Every week, it's like playing it by ear because of this shit. Okay. Get Banned says, name something Nightbot would delete his messages for. I want to test something. If you type all capital letters, if you do like a giant sentence of all capital letters, it should mute your message for caps abuse. So that would do it. So there you go. All right. Metal Leaf says, what's the next new game I'm going to play? Well, actually, I've been looking at the schedule. And early June is kind of slow. That first week of June, there's really nothing going on. But maybe not. And the reason I say that is because coming up tomorrow, we've got like 4 to 5 major digital events for games, including Dragon Quest, Dying Light, Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as... that's right. As well as the Throat Clear. No, as well as Horizon. Then, the next week, we got more. And then, on June 10th, we actually have Summer Games Fest beginning. So, we have a ton of information coming out about new releases shortly. It's very possible we may get some information about new games we didn't even know were coming out. That'll be coming out in the next few weeks, you know. It might happen. So, we'll see. But, really, the first week of... the first week of June is slow. The second week of June, we've got Ratchet and Clank, the new one, for PS5 exclusive. I believe the new Guilty Gear game was also supposed to come out that week, but I think the Guilty Gear game may have gotten delayed. I haven't updated my game release schedule, so I don't actually know if Guilty Gear, is it Guilty Gear Strive or whatever? I don't know if it's actually coming out then still, or if it got monstrously delayed or not, right? So, that's really the first major release of June. The other major release of June that I'm really interested in is, whatchamacallit, Mario Golf. I think Mario Golf will be really fun. Everything I've seen of the game makes it look kind of like Mario Kart. you play golf, and then all of a sudden everyone dashes to the next hole and does like this combat and stuff between the holes, which is really neat. So it looks like it's going to be a fun game. So I'm excited. And I hope that you guys are excited too. But we'll have a balance between those games and anything else that comes out in June. Because I get the feeling once Summer Games Fest and E3 go down, which is the 10th and then the 13th, we're going to have a ton of new games announced and dates given out. And I guarantee you some of them are going to be in the next 2 months. I almost guarantee you. So we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. But those are the 2 major releases for June. Okay? All right. So in a nutshell, today it's Returnal and Call of Duty. Tomorrow it's Ask the King and Mass Effect. Friday it's Endgame of Nier Replicant and Street Fighter. Saturday it's more Returnal and more Mass Effect. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, they're up in the air because I don't know when my day off is coming up this week. But one of those days will be the premiere of whatever wins the Retro Replay poll. So it'll be a marathon of that game. And the other days will be normal gameplay days, where likely we'll be finishing up certain things. Maybe Mass Effect will actually go back to being a daytime stream for next week, since it seems like I won't have too much to do, especially once I finish Nier Replicant. That's a game out of the rotation. See? But I will let you know, obviously, once I know more about the schedule, I'll let you guys know, and we'll solidify those dates, okay? And then June will be exciting, because not only will we have multiple new releases in Ratchet & Clank, Mario Golf, and maybe Guilty Gear, but also we're going to have the digital events of Summer Games Fest and E3 to talk about, and all kinds of stuff to cover there, and talking about new releases. It'll be exciting, okay? Fair enough? I think I've covered everything, actually. For the first time on a pre-stream, it just naturally, in what I was talking about, we covered Ask the King, we covered the Retro Replay event, right? What I will say is, coming up in June, I'm going to try to make things here on my YouTube streams more similar to how things used to be on Twitch. And what I mean by that is the return of sub goals. Only on YouTube, they're not called subs, they're called memberships. So the return of membership goals, depending on how many memberships we get in June, it'll determine if we do a special celebratory event or not. I'm going to try to get pop-up messages for memberships and super chats on the screen. It may have to be, I may have to use, as silly as this sounds, I may have to use different surfaces. Like Stream Elements has been working really good with the tip stuff. Tips have been working almost flawlessly. For some odd reason, it will not work with YouTube stuff. I've tried it, and it worked for all of 5 minutes, and then it errored out or whatever, and now I have not been able to get it to work again, no matter what I do. So I might have to use, like, Stream Elements for tip pop-up messages, and Stream Labs, the old service I used to use, for memberships and super chats. I don't know. We'll have to try to figure this out. Okay? Silver Strike, no, you will not have to be a member to ask a question on my Ask the King show. Right now, you could post up a question by typing ! Ask the King into the stream chat. Or live during, well, right before the show, I take Twitter questions on my Twitter at TheyCallMeDSP. And then during the show, if there's time, I take open questions from the chat. So 3 opportunities, and none of them require you to be a member. So there you go. So, yeah, in June, I'm hoping to make some changes and or advancements here on the stream to try to get things to be kind of how they were back on Twitch. I understand it's not exactly the same. In particular, yes, a lot more trolling, which we knew was going to happen. There's been a lot more trolling in the YouTube chat. There doesn't seem to really be a way around that, at least for now. Hopefully long-term there will be. But, you know, trying to make things go back to how they were. You know what I mean? Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you like my streams, you like me, you like my content, and you want to support me, the best way to do so is by tipping me. When you tip me live during a stream, I will give you a shout-out as long as your tip message is something positive and not insulting or toxic trolling. I will give you a nice live shout-out to say thank you. You also should get a pop-up message on the screen as long as your tip is $4.20 or $5 or larger. Those are like the categories where it starts being a pop-up, okay? When you tip me, you're helping me immensely because I'm not going to receive any other income until I get paid by YouTube late June. All the memberships and super chats you guys have been doing over the last week or so that I've been streaming on YouTube are great. They're going to help me tremendously, but I won't see any benefit from those until late June. All right? So that means everything that you guys are doing right now is great, but I really need help with tips to help me pay all my bills and everything coming up. And you guys have been very supportive in this regard. Thank you so much to those who have. How do you tip me? You can type exclamation point tip into the stream chat, or you can check the description of this stream. The link is there. We have some goals in effect for tips. If you raise $50 of tips on today's stream, I'll put on my pair of Gunner glasses. If you raise $100 of tips, I'll put on a vest. Now, yesterday, I wore the... What did I wear yesterday? I know I wore the camo. And then I wore the platinum. So it was platinum and camo yesterday. So those vests would not be eligible today. Today we have beige, red, denim, blue, or gray. All those vests would be eligible today. If you guys, if we hit the goal, which is $100 in tips on a stream, okay? So please consider it. Thank you in advance for any contributions. Listen, I appreciate memberships. I appreciate super chats. But right now, tips are the focus because that's what I need help with the most right now, okay? But speaking of memberships, we're currently up to 132 people who have become a member of this channel over the last week and a half. Thank you for that. And when we hit 150, which I'm sure we will in the next couple of weeks, we will unlock a new emote for everyone to use who is a member. That's how it works on YouTube, is when you become a member, the more people who become members, the more stuff unlocks, which is pretty neat. So we hit 150, we'll get another emote. I'm curious what emote you guys would want next. Remember, I used to have over 40 emotes when I was on Twitch, right? So let's see what happens. And again, thank you in advance to anyone who does become a member. I really appreciate that. I'm just trying to think. Okay, I already did the plugs. That's done. So I'm excited, guys. There's so much news going around right now in regards to gaming and everything. Everyone's excited. Like, every single game now is going to get a digital event. It's ridiculous. Like, I was checking Twitter again this morning. All right, I was checking this morning, and there's just a crazy amount of game events coming up. Not only the 4 that I mentioned, but I guess there's even more. And I think what it is everyone here, everyone is basically talking about what game's going to be on what digital event or whatever. I guess Pokemon already got some news. Like, Pokemon was announced that Diamond, that's what it is, Diamond and Pearl. The Diamond and Pearl remakes are coming out in November, but then apparently only 2 months after that, okay, that new Pokemon game, which I forget what it's called, Arcturus Region or something. It's basically the open world Pokemon game where it looks like Breath of the Wild, and it looks like for the first time ever, you're going to have like a dodge mechanic, because it seems like your character, the trainer, actually may have to do some acrobatics and shit to traverse and do stuff in the game, which is a first for Pokemon. Typically, it's just a very boring grid you're walking on, but this looks like an action-packed, like, open world traverse map style, okay? So apparently, that's coming out in January. And so some people are kind of like, well, that's weird, because have you ever had 2 mainstream Pokemon games within 2 months? And quite frankly, we know Pokemon games can be pretty lengthy if you're the kind of person who wants to catch all the Pokemon. So if you're playing Diamond/Pearl in November, do you really want to play another Pokemon game in January, right? So, I don't know. Poi Puri just said, Arceus Legends, I guess it's called Arceus or Arceus Legends. He says, it looks like a tech demo. It kind of does look like a tech demo. It looks like they're trying something new with Pokemon. They wanted to, like, experiment with this new engine or whatever. And I wonder what the game is going to be. Like, we actually don't know yet, and I get the feeling Nintendo's going to dump a bunch of information about this game in the next couple of weeks. Again, the E3 stuff, right? But for me, I like playing Pokemon, and I like taking my time with it. You guys know I don't rush through it when I play Pokemon games. Oh, you surprised me. You surprised me, Jasper Kitty. You guys know that. And so when I played Sword and Shield, right, I played through the main campaign. It took me, what, about a month? But then after that, I went back and I got every Pokemon, which took like 3-4 months. If you remember, I was doing it as like a chill stream once or twice a week. Let's say that I wanted to do that with Diamond or Pearl, but now another Pokemon game is coming out, right? So that's kind of weird to me. Like, I don't know. It seems like that's way too quickly for 2 Pokemon games to come out back-to-back like that. I don't know if that's really going to work. I don't necessarily know if people who buy Pokemon games rush through them, you know? So rushing through a Pokemon game just so another one comes out in like a month. Or, yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm more interested in the new one than I am in the remake, but I never played Diamond or Pearl either. And I've enjoyed playing these remake ones that I've played. Like, I played, what did I play? Omega Ruby, and I played, well, I played Moon, but that was a new release at the time. That wasn't a remake. Omega Ruby was good. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll just see. All right, we'll see what happens, but I just feel like that might be, it might be Pokemon overload. It might be too much Pokemon in a short period of time to the point where it's going to become, like, fatigue. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Outside of that, like I said, there's so much going on. Amazon just bought MGM. Are you guys aware of this? Yeah. 17.3... No, excuse me. 13.7... Oh, wait, no. How much did it buy it for? $8.45 billion. It bought up James Bond, Rocky, Pink Panther, and more. You know, MGM used to be huge. MGM is not as big as it used to be anymore. Metro Golden Mayer, that's what it stands for. That's when the movie starts. There's that Roaring Lion that used to be huge. Now they're much smaller than they used to be. But it's interesting. Amazon bought them. And I wonder what they're going to do with MGM. Like, why does Amazon want to buy MGM, right? Like, I don't know what they're planning to do. Are they planning to start making movies and shit? It's very odd, because when you look at these acquisitions, you look at, like, Disney buying Marvel or Disney buying Star Wars. Immediately, Disney turned those franchises into money-making ventures for them, right? It started, ramped up production on Star Wars big time, started pumping out insane amounts of Marvel movies, made a ridiculous amount of money on those franchises. Some people think for the better, and some people say, for the worse, especially with Star Wars. A lot of people think that Star Wars sucked ass, right? So, that being said, Amazon buying MGM, like, does this mean now they're going to start making 10 Bond movies? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird. What exactly were they planning on doing, you know, with this? I know that Amazon already makes movies, Amazon Originals and stuff, from, like, that are on their Amazon Prime service streaming. But I'm just curious what this does for them, you know? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what this does for them. I guess we'll find out, but it is a huge acquisition, right, when it comes to an entertainment industry kind of deal. So, all right. Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, there's a lot of news today. Though, you know what? I will say one other thing. Uncharted, the movie, isn't looking very good to me. I'm sorry. I've seen multiple pictures now that are, you know, from the set, and it just doesn't look like Uncharted to me at all. You've got two actors who don't look like the characters. They don't look like Nathan Drake and Sully at all. And I know it's supposed to be like some kind of prequel or something. But this movie just doesn't look good to me at all, man. It looks like two actors stumbling through a movie set. Like, it's literally what it looks like. It's not believable at all. I'm not saying that Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg aren't good actors. I'm saying that perhaps the person who's in charge of this movie isn't very good at what they're doing. Because it just doesn't, it's not convincing right now. It does not look very good at all. So, it's disappointing, obviously. You hear an Uncharted movie, you want it to be good. Uncharted is one of the most cinematic game series of all time. And instead, they pumping out this thing. I don't even know what this is. But a lot of people are upset that Nathan Fillion was not chosen for Nathan Drake because he's done some, like, fan-made movie clips playing the character on the internet. And people thought that he would be a shoo-in. He looks just like Nathan Drake, and he's already acted like him and looks good. And they just didn't give a shit. They decided they want to do a prequel movie that looks like it has nothing to do with the games. Great. Alright. Alright, folks. Shout out to Ugly Tuna Roll, who has tipped me this morning $2.50. He says, I've played Biomutant for maybe about a day now. I just have to say, it's okay. It's not a bad game at all, but I sometimes find myself kind of bored after an hour or so. It has all the ingredients to be a great game, but they fail to incorporate it well. And that's exactly what I heard from the reviews. That's exactly what I heard from people on social media. They're saying the game isn't terrible. It's not like, all right, it's not Cyberpunk, right? It's not, oh my god, this game is a broken fucking mess, unplayable, glitched out the ass, boring as shit, because they didn't really put any coherent design into it. It's, the game works, but it's repetitive and basically doesn't translate into entertainment. You know, like, from the best review that I read, they said this. They said the first 3 to 4 hours of Biomutant is great because you're learning all the systems. The game throws a lot at you very early on in the game. You have to learn the melee combat system. You have to learn combos. You have to learn how to traverse and how to do all these things. So the very first few hours are very fun because you're learning all of these things. And then once you've learned them, that's the game. Like, that's it. The game never really challenges you to relearn it or do anything new. Once you've learned the basics that take 3 or 4 hours to master, you've seen the whole game. All you're going to be doing is fighting generic, repetitive enemies the whole game. The same combos. Guns are way overpowered. There's supposed to be, like, a variety of ways to play the game, but in reality, they don't work. Because there's a melee build that's incredibly weak. If you use guns, basically you beat everything. So why would you ever use melee combat? Because they didn't balance it well. That just seemed, and the more I read of the reviews, they all seem to have this consensus that the game isn't terrible, but it's just incredibly disappointing because it looks like it had tons of potential. But after you play the game for 3 or 4 hours, you just get bored. There's really, like, the repetition of it just becomes not entertaining anymore. And most people are actually saying the game has crazy good graphics. Like, the character models themselves look amazing, but that gimmick wears out after a couple hours. You don't really care about the graphics anymore when you're bored to tears playing the game. So, I'm happy I didn't get it. I'm being honest. I was gonna get it. I was gung-ho to get it because you guys told me to get it. And then, all of a sudden, the game came out. And, by the way, it's usually a sign when reviews are only allowed to come out like 24 hours before the game does. That's obviously usually a bad sign because if the game was reviewed well, then they want those reviews out right away. So the fact that they made it so that reviews could only be out 24 hours before makes you feel like they kind of knew that their game wasn't so great anyway, right? They didn't want people flooding the internet with lackluster reviews a week ahead of time. They wanted those day one sales. And apparently, at least for the first day, it did pretty well. People were saying that, like, numbers on Steam and everything were pretty good for a day one game that was not a major AAA studio release. But the question is, will that continue, or is that going to completely die out? Now no one's going to care about the game anymore, right? So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Longevity-wise, if anyone will keep playing this game. But for me, from everything I heard, I heard it wasn't very good. And now people who did buy the game and have been coming to my streams have been saying, yeah, you really didn't miss anything. It's good, but, even people who like the game are saying it's good, but it's nothing, nothing groundbreaking or revolutionary. And, yeah, it would have gotten boring and repetitive after just a few hours anyway. So, I guess that's it. What are you going to do? Disappointing. I would love for these game studios that are not AAA studios to come out with a game that actually blows everything else away. Like, what game did that? A few years ago, you had Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. That game was not expected to be good from a studio no one really knew, and it was, I thought, a really good game. I really enjoyed that one. And then you had that one, A Plague Tale, right? 2 years ago. That, again, no one knew what this game was. It comes out and it just, like, blows you away. Like, wow, it's so good. The graphics, the gameplay was actually unique. And these were games that no one was expecting anything from. And like, whoa, these are great. So I would hope that, we already know they're making Hellblade 2. But I hope that studios like that continue to succeed. Because I'd rather see more innovation than repetition. You see? We have so many games that are just the same shit over and over. These big studios trying to cash in on a fad. And some games in the last few years, like those two in particular, really stood out for me as indie games that were quite good. And it is disappointing when a game like Biomutant comes out that looks like it had potential to be another one of those games, and then it wasn't. Son of a bitch. I actually wanted Biomutant to be good, but it is what it is, I guess. No one knew Ninja Theory. Well, no, people know Ninja Theory, but the point I'm making is Ninja Theory, right? Who's saying, oh, Ninja Theory is going to make a game like Hellblade, right? Nobody. No one's expecting a game like that to come out of them. What games did Ninja Theory make? Action-based, you know, games like you're saying, Enslaved, Devil May Cry. Right. Did everyone think that was going to be a crazy narrative-based game with insane graphics? Like, who expected that? Nobody. It blew people away. I was very impressed with how it panned out, so. Heavenly Sword I never played. Weren't there 2 games, like Heavenly Sword, and wasn't there another one that was a PS3 game, like a launch title, and they tied into each other? It was the same protagonist, the red-haired girl, who did, like, crazy combat. I never played either one of them. Yeah, I really liked Enslaved. You guys are right. And I remember my playthrough of Enslaved back in the day. I really liked that game. I think I liked it more than most people. Most people kind of glossed over it, but I actually really enjoyed Enslaved. I was sad that, like, no one really talked about it. At the time, you know, a few people were like, oh, Enslaved is good, but I was one of the few people who did, like, a big playthrough of it on YouTube. And it really didn't get much traction or anything. Like, it never went anywhere, which sucks. I would have liked that to become a franchise, too. You know, it was a good game. Shout out to Nick. Nick has just become a supporter of the channel. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. Thank you for the membership. And that means that we're up to 133 members on the channel. So about 17 to go. In order to unlock a new emote here for the members, right? Pretty good. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, does anyone else have anything else they would like to talk about? Well, some people are saying, it's sad that I didn't try out Biomutant myself instead of judging it unfairly. All right, listen. I addressed this yesterday. I'll say it in a nutshell again. 2021 is not 2010 Phil. 2010 Phil, the goal for DSP back then was to pump out as many playthroughs of as many new release games as possible. It didn't matter if the game was huge or if the game was not so publicized, but my goal was to buy a game at launch, play it as soon as possible, get a full playthrough up on YouTube as rushed as it was, and move on to the next game. All right? In 2021, that is not my goal. My goal is to put out entertaining, interactive streams for you guys. I have to pick and choose what games I play now because, number one, there's so many games that come out in a short period of time. And number two, because I only have a certain amount of time to play said games, and a lot of these games are incredibly lengthy, right? Right now, I'm juggling 3 main games in Nier Replicant, which we're almost done with, Returnal, which we're getting there but not yet, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition, where I potentially am only through around a third of the game, if that, okay? Then I've got ongoing chill streams. For example, new Pokemon Snap, or my weekly session of Street Fighter. Now you guys have asked me to bring back Call of Duty. You see, with all those games being juggled, I have to very carefully weigh and balance what I play on my streams, because the last thing I want to do is start up a new game that, number one, I can't dedicate enough time to, or number two, ends up being kind of repetitive and boring, and now why did I waste time on it when everyone is clamoring for me to play the other games more? Do you see what I'm saying? You have to understand this is not just a personal decision for me of what game I want to play. This is a business decision of what I want to put on my streams as well. And it's challenging. It is. It's getting harder, actually, moving forward to determine what games to play here, because I don't know what's going to retain attention. I don't know what you guys are going to continue to enjoy. I don't even know what I'm going to continue to want to play. There's been games that looked good. I play them. I don't want to play them anymore, you know? It's a tough decision. It really is. Quite frankly, again, a game like Returnal, which, by the way, Returnal is a perfectly good game for most people, but for me, because of the kind of content creator I am, it hasn't really been working well for my schedule because I don't have enough time to dedicate to it to beat a biome, right? Like, look at how long it took me to beat Biome 3. So, again, because of the kind of content that I put out, it's very different for me. You have to understand that. It's easy for someone to say, oh, just buy Biomutant and play it, and if you don't like it, drop it. Dude, that's a money investment. That's a time investment, right? That's investment of other things that I could be doing and getting further in. And now I'm holding off to play another game that some people will not be interested in, and a lot of us might enjoy for a few hours and then get bored with. I can't. I have to actually try to make the best decisions for my streams, okay? And that's what I'm trying to do. I hope you guys understand that. All right? Why aren't I playing Miitopia? Because people told me not to. When I mentioned playing Miitopia, people were like, you realize it's just another RPG. You're already in the midst of multiple RPGs. Don't play Miitopia. It's just kind of a silly spin-off RPG. You know, it's nothing serious. It's just, you make your created characters, and you go through an RPG with these created characters and do silly things, but you're already playing other RPGs, so I didn't play it. What it is, here's what it is, all right? And listen, I understand. I totally understand, you guys, that everyone has different tastes, all right? Everyone does. This has been something in the 12 to 13 years, now I'm almost 13 years a content creator, if you can believe this. Holy shit. This is an ongoing challenge that I feel I will face every day that I'm a content creator. What do you play? Because you have to pick and choose and make the best of your time, right? Some people like certain kinds of games and some people like other kinds of games, and you have to pick and choose between to try to find the happy medium. That's why I'm a variety streamer. That's why today's Action Day, but tomorrow we've got Ask the King and Mass Effect, and then Friday we've got Nier and Street Fighter. Everything's different. Every day is a different day of streaming for me on purpose so that I can appease different audiences, but no one gets bored, you see? But the problem is, you can't please everyone all the time. And right now, I'm currently playing Divinity 2, which I have not even been able to focus on at all because there's been so many new releases. It's a slow-moving RPG, and if I can't play it at least 1 to 2 times a week, I basically make no progress, so I'm just holding off on it for now. I got Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which people were clamoring for to see me play, and I haven't even been able to focus on it because I'm doing so much other shit. That's 2 RPGs right there, right? So I'm not going to start a 3rd RPG in the middle of all that. That's crazy. I'd be an idiot to what is Phil, the RPG streamer? I'm not. You know, I'm not. I'm not supposed to be only playing one kind of game over and over, you see? So it's tough for me. It really is. I want to please all you guys. I want to play the games you guys want to see, but I don't necessarily even know what that's going to be. One day, we could all be excited for a game, and then we find out it's not good, right? It could have been we all hyped for Biomutant. I played it yesterday, and after one stream, we're like, well, that sucks, right? Now that's $60 down the drain. That's a major stream that was wasted. Do you determine if I keep playing it or not? You see what I mean? Like, there's just no real, there's just no real way to tell, man. Okay? There's just no way to tell. So, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best to try to adjust. I'm doing my best to try to make it entertaining for you guys and pick the right games. But it's just, there's no definitive answer on this. Right? Miitopia, when I first heard the premise of it, I was interested. And then people yelled at me and said, you're playing too many RPGs already. I was like, all right, I guess you're right. So now I don't play. Oh, why didn't you play Miitopia? What? Well, a week ago, people told me not to. You see? Like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. The philosophy I took was, I'm already in the midst of 3 major playthroughs, and we've got other late-night streams going on that are ongoing playthroughs. Why not focus on those and try to get through them? Because I know I'm doing a retro replay event very soon, and I know there's new stuff coming out in June, so I might as well just get as far as I can into the stuff I'm doing. That became my focus. Right? Some people like that. Again, some people don't. Mechanical says, would I play Biomutant if it was gifted? Right now, no. Absolutely not. Right now, I would not. I would play Biomutant maybe later on in the summer, or if there's a deader time when I'm not juggling 4 or 5 games already, then maybe I would consider starting up with Biomutant. I'm not going to do it now when overall we know it's not such a good game, and I know I'm not going to have enough time to dedicate to it. Overall, that's really what it comes down to as well. When I'm playing so many games at once, it's difficult to dedicate enough time to make progress in any of them, you see? Like, I'll be honest with you. Danganronpa V3, I'm really enjoying. It's a murder mystery game, and I can only play it 2 hours a week. So people are like, dude, if you keep going the rate you're going, you're not going to beat it till September. I know, and it sucks. I like the game, but how am I going to get any further in it? I'm already juggling a million other playthroughs. So I need to focus on what I'm doing and finish it. I need to finish up Nier Replicant. I need to see how far I can get in Returnal. If I can beat this 5th biome, and, then there's only the 6 left, that's the end of the game, right? So maybe in the next couple of weeks, if I hunker down here, I can finish up multiple games, and then we can worry about other stuff, you see? But I just can't do more stuff. It just seems to me that here's what happens. Here's what happens with my streams. And this is actually not only a symptom of content creation, but of certain kinds of streamers. You play a new game, and it's hype for 1 to 2 streams, then the hype dies out, right? But the kind of person I am, I keep playing the games. There are streamers out there, they get paid to play every game, or they get every game for free, so whenever there's a new release, they play it for 1 or 2 streams, and then they drop it. And then they go back to their staple things, and that's the end of it. It's no big deal. Their streamers don't demand that they go back to the games. You guys are used to seeing me play games to completion, you see? So I play Biomutant for 1 stream, okay, I drop it, never play it again, people are upset, right? Plus, again, you have to understand, I don't get everything for free. I don't get paid to play these games. This is an investment of time and money for me. So, if I'm going to start playing a new playthrough, it has to be something that I'm committing to playing. You see? It's very different for someone on my scale versus other scales. You guys see these giant streamers who are making insane amounts of money. Doesn't matter if they just sit there and pick their nose all day. They could do whatever, and they're going to make these insane amounts of money every day, so they could do whatever the hell they want. That's not me. I actually have to pick and choose the games that I play. I have to have people coming to streams, supporting. And, the money that I spend on my investments for the streams is important. All right? It's different. It's very different. I hope you understand that. It's, I just feel that people, they hold me up to a standard that's kind of unfair. They do. They hold me up to a standard that's unfair because they think that I'm some big streamer. I'm not. I'm not a big streamer. I'm not popular. You guys know that, right? My streams bring in a couple hundred viewers. That's not popularity. That's longevity is what it is. The reason that I'm still here is because I've been around for 13 years. That's the reason why I still have an audience, right? It's not because I'm virally popular and people talk about dark side filled streams and content. They don't. It's a hardcore following of people who've been around down this journey with me the whole time, and they love the stuff that I do and they want to see me continue to succeed. It's not because my streams are jumping to popularity everywhere. So for you to, you should just play every new game. If you don't like it, you could drop it. That's fine. And I don't understand why you're not playing Miitopia and Biomutant while juggling 7 other games. Because I can't. It's not possible, man. It's not possible. I'm here 6 days a week full time. And it takes me forever to get through a lot of these games. You gotta understand, man. The amount of content that I put out is astronomical. And I still can't get through these games. Because I'm playing so many. Alright? So, I guess what I'm just asking for is a little bit of patience. I'm trying to do my best to pick the right games. I'm trying to do my best to continue to entertain you. And I'm trying to do my best to make sure that when I do start up a project that is something that I'm committing to seriously, not that people feel like everything I do is frivolous. I start playing, I drop it. A lot of streamers are like that. I'm not like that, and I can't be like that. I'm someone who I have to commit to doing something and enjoying it long term, you see? So I hope you guys understand this, all right? And I apologize that I cannot entertain all of you in the way that you want me to every single day. But I do my damn best, okay? And I hope that we'll make the right choices, right? I mean, all you can do is try. And that's what I'm trying. I didn't feel that Biomutant this week was going to be a game that was going to entertain you guys in the long term, or me. Miitopia, I'm already playing multiple RPGs. I didn't think that was going to be something that was going to be good. There will definitely be can't miss games coming up in the next month that I'm going to be playing. But I have to pick and choose those, you see? Alright, guys. Anyway, I've babbled on here, and I feel like I should reroute the train back to the tracks. So, let's take a break. I gotta use the bathroom. Let's take a break. When I come back, it'll be Returnal, going through the 4th and into the 5th biome for the first time, seeing if we can make progress. Thank you guys for listening on the pre-stream. Thank you, Ugly Tuna Roll, for the tip, for the first tip of the day. When I come back, we'll have some fun with games. Fair enough? Rather than me gab all day like an old man, rambling on. Alright, I'll be back, guys. Thanks. I'll see you in a few.